Well, Australia has an international reputation as a country of big drinkers, and we tend to take it quite lightheartedly, but not so funny is new research being released today showing the impact it has on too many Australian families.
That's right. The Australian Salvation Army commissioned research through Roy Morgan to find that nearly 3.5 million people have in fact experienced threats and arguments as a direct consequence of alcohol abuse, and nearly 2 million children have expressed being fearful in their own homes as a direct result of drunkenness, and nearly a quarter of our population would like a complete ban on alcohol advertising as a means of reining the problem.
Amazing stats. Today in the studio we've got Jared Byrne from the Salvation Army. Hey Jared, along with Michael and Nikki. Now these are two inspiring people who've lived through the alcoholic nightmare and thankfully lived to tell the tale. Hey guys, good to see you.
How you going?
We were talking to these guys just before we started saying, you know, you're a bit nervous and everything, but the reason you're here is to help other people. There might be people watching this morning that are in a similar state to these guys have been, Jared.
Sure.
When you heard the stats, was it a lot more shocking than you thought?
Look, it was. It certainly surprised us. You know, we find it staggering that these type of numbers are out there, that we have 2 million children in Australian homes that are you know, scared, that feel threatened in their own home, which is the environment in which a child should feel most safe.
Absolutely.
Yeah. How many families are actually touched by alcohol abuse?
Well, I'd say it'd be just about nearly every family in Australia in some way is impacted by alcohol abuse, either directly from a family member or maybe from an extended family member. If we have a look at the numbers that have come out of this research that we've commissioned, we're seeing that its impact is very broad across the Australian community.
It's frightening. Now we've got Michael and Nikki, and thank you so much for coming on and actually sharing your stories. Michael, first of all, now you're just 23 years old, and a year ago you actually hit rock bottom because of alcohol. Can you tell us your story?
Well, I've heard alcoholism referred to as the great remover, and that's exactly what it did for me. Everything good in my life disappeared, and so quickly. Family relationships got broke down, especially my mum. You know, she always was in my corner, but I was killing her really because she was watching me destroy myself, and it wasn't a matter of if, it was when that I was going to die, and just losing everything, my job as a nurse, and my girlfriend and everything. I was just homeless, and it was just rock bottom.
So that whole loss. Now actually, Michael, how much were you drinking and what were you drinking?
Towards the end I was having about 5 4-litre casks of wine a week. And the last year or so of my active addiction, I was referring to methylated spirits. And, you know, at 23 years of age, you can't expect to have too much of a life expectancy when you're doing that to yourself. So I knew I needed some help, and that's where Salvation Army's stood in.
When did you know you had hit rock bottom?
It was when I was homeless in Canberra, and Canberra winter isn't the best place to be homeless. And I was sent to a refuge in Goulburn. And I didn't quite make the deadline, so I was under a bridge in Goulburn drinking wine, and I just thought to myself, I've lost my job, I've lost my girlfriend, I've got no friends left, and I'm by myself drinking wine under a bridge. That's when I realised I needed help.
Jared, it seems that nobody's immune to this. And now, Michael, you were in the medical profession. You were a first-grade soccer player too, I believe. Is that right? So it seems people that are seemingly successful have alcohol problems, and people who are seemingly failing in life have the same problems. You know?
Look, certainly, Jamie, I think the sense out there that maybe alcoholism is something that just affects maybe people from the lower end of the socio-economic bracket in our community is a misnomer that we're hoping gets dispelled through this research. The impact of alcohol on the Australian community is right across all levels of our community.
It's huge, isn't it? Nikki, thank you for joining us as well. And you've been an alcoholic for a little bit longer than Michael. Tell us your story. How long have you actually been an alcoholic for?
I've been an alcoholic for 22 years, and it was only when I went into rehab that I realised when I first started drinking at 15 that I was drinking alcoholically. I was a blackout drinker, where I couldn't remember what I was doing, and that was from my very first drink.
And you've got kids, I believe.
I have 2 children.
At the same time,
I've got an 11-year-old and a 13-year-old, and that was really difficult.
How did that work? I mean, could you sum up a day for us? Just nutshell a day?
You're
drinking,
I also worked.
Trying to look after the kids and...
Yes, I'm very fortunate and eternally grateful that I had my parents who stepped in, and, you know, I sort of lived, I was with them, and then that enabled me to come and go. And basically my mother and father brought my children up, and they had full-time jobs as well. So, Yeah, and a day in using alcohol was always a, you know, it was a full-on day of where am I going to, you know, when am I going to be able to have a drink, sort of thing, because I worked as well, so I couldn't wait to knock off too.
Wow. I mean,
Sorry, no, you go.
no, to come out of this and to be in recovery would require so much strength, and, you know, congratulations to you both. How long have you been in recovery, Nikki?
Almost 3 years. I went through the Salvation Army bridge program at Sealer at Berkeley Vale, and I completed that program, the 10-month program, and if I thought it was hard in there, it was a lot harder when I got out, because I've had to become a responsible adult.
Yeah.
And I've almost got 3 years, and I actually work with the bridge program now as a caseworker.
Oh,
so
that's great.
That's fantastic.
Yes.
So you're able to give back.
And I heard you're getting married in March.
Yes, I am getting married.
How great is that?
Yes.
Congratulations. That's
Thank you.
terrific.
Yes.
So life's bright for you now?
Life is very bright for me now, and it's very important to me just to give back to what the Salvation Army gave to me. They love me back to life, and you know, it's about empowering women, I believe. I work in a women's rehab, and it's about empowering. You know, they're not bad women, they're just sick women.
Yeah. And you're giving back too, aren't you, Michael?
Yeah.
Yeah. I'm studying as well at the moment to community services, to go into counselling and helping people, because as Nikki said, so many people have helped me, and I know how much of a difference they've made in my life, and I want to give back, because no one deserves to live a life of addiction. It's very sad and sorry.
Just quickly, what would you say to people who are watching now who would be struggling with an alcohol addiction to help them?
I would say, you know, pick up the phone and get some help. There are plenty of people out there to get help, even to ring a lifeline, ring the bridge program, you know, and get in and get some help. I mean, the first step is getting, you know, getting help, and then, you know, it's not an easy road, but it's one that's worthwhile.
Rewarding.
That's great. And Gerard, people can contact you?
They certainly can. Our details are available on salvos.org.au, or they can contact us in Sydney on 9232 222. Thank you.
Hey, thanks so much, guys. Amazing stats that have just been released. Again, the website salvos.org.au.
And for coming in and sharing your story.
Yeah,
Thank you so much.
Amazing. Congratulations.
Thank you.
Well done. Congratulations.
Thank you.